Happy Friday, everyone. Hunter here at North Central Weather Center, and in today's weather forecast, we are looking at widespread frost and freeze conditions as we go through the weekend. A very quiet start to next week, but the weather ramps up with potential severe weather in our viewing area as we round out next week. We'll go into those details later on in today's weather forecast. Hey, if you are new here to North Central Weather Center and you like detailed, accurate weather forecasts across the North Central U.S., make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We'll keep you covered throughout the year. Also, be sure to press the like button down below, the thumbs up button. It helps out more than you know. So let's look at your weather today out your door on your Friday, April 19th. And looking out the door this morning at our temperatures, it is actually sub-freezing for many of us here across the upper Midwest, into the high plains, especially up here in North Dakota. Temperatures into the middle 20s, into western North Dakota this morning with hard freezes and frosts out there. And as we go through the afternoon, temperatures will warm up a little bit, especially across our central and southeastern most areas here. Temperatures there will be into the 50s. Further north into the Dakotas that woke up into the mid-20s, we're only warming into the 30s this afternoon, in the mid-30s at that. So a very chilly day. Make sure to bundle up here if you do head outdoors across those areas. Looking at precip chances through the day, we do have a pretty quiet weather pattern here setting up for your Friday to end the work week. High pressure working in with those colder temperatures this morning. This afternoon, we're seeing much of the same. Lots of sunshine across the Midwest into the Great Lakes. And as we go into tonight, outside of a snow shower or a flurry up here in northern Minnesota, most of us should remain dry going into tonight. Going into the weekend on Saturday, April the 20th into Sunday, April the 21st, let's look at our temperature anomalies here, because we're going to be well below normal with our temperatures here for much of the viewing area this weekend. In fact, looking at those Saturday morning lows, we're back into the 20s and 30s with more hard freezes and frost across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, all the way back to the high plains here. So a very, very cold start for late April standards on your Saturday morning for these areas. As we go even into Sunday morning, much of the same, more widespread frost and hard freezes across those areas, high plains to the upper Midwest, into the Great Lakes here. Look at the freezing line all the way down here into Kansas, Missouri, downstate Illinois, over here into Indiana and Ohio, as we do round out the weekend there on Sunday morning. Those afternoon highs on Saturday will be chilly, folks. This is one of the chilliest weekends we have had in quite some time. You can see Saturday afternoon temperatures will be into the 40s for a large majority of the north central U.S., 50s further to the south, and the same can be said for Sunday, although Sunday we do start to warm up a handful of degrees across our north central U.S. into the 50s, but still a chilly day all told for the weekend. And you can see, looking at precipitation chances, pretty dry for most of us. I would say 95% of us for Saturday, outside of a sprinkle or a shower there into Kansas. High pressure will be in firm control this weekend with lots of sunshine, some mixed clouds out there. Into Saturday night, a mostly clear sky to go around for most of us here, maybe partly cloudy to the south with closer to those precipitation chances that will be outside of our viewing area there into the southern plains. Moving into Sunday, dry to go around Sunday and Sunday night. So a pretty dry weekend, uneventful here across the United States, especially the north central U.S. And you can see here this weekend, we're really not going to see any meaningful precipitation outside of a sprinkle or a flurry. So really nothing to worry about. Heading into next week, Monday, April 22nd through Friday, April 26th, you do see our temperature trends. You can see cooler to start off to the east, below normal temperatures, warming up across our western viewing area here into the plains, and we are going to see above normal temperatures when you average all 5 days out next week across those areas, from the Dakotas down into Nebraska and Kansas. Let's look here at the early week temperatures here. Here's your high temperatures by Monday, Tuesday time frame, into the 60s and 70s, maybe some low 80s we go here into western Kansas as we start the new work week. As we go into the middle of next week, we're going to have another strong front move through from the north here, from Canada, dropping southbound. This will actually lead to some colder temperatures yet again for the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes region, still hanging on to milder air across Kansas into the Ozarks region of Missouri the middle of next week. And then we start to see a rebound. It's cooler to the north, and then we have that warm front lifting northward. And yes, when you see a warm front, you have a low pressure system and then a cold front attached to that, or a dry line, and that will set up some active precipitation chances going into later next week. So looking at this precipitation anomaly through next week, Monday the 22nd through Friday the 26th of April, it does look like an active week, but here this is mostly going to be later next week. So we're going to see a lot of this rainfall, above average precipitation anomalies and rainfall later next week. And you can see here to start the week, outside of a sprinkle or a shower, pretty quiet there on Monday. Any rainfall here to speak of will be in the Dakotas. As we go to Tuesday, a weak system up here into the Great Lakes. This will be the cold front to drop southward, and this is going to bring us a colder air mass, as noted by some of the snow showers up there in the upper Great Lakes region into the UP of Michigan, stretching back to northern Wisconsin and the Arrowhead there of Minnesota. And then as we go into Wednesday, high pressure, very dry, but it's very chilly across the Midwest into the Great Lakes region here, but lots of sunshine, so it could look great outside. Probably not going to feel too good outside for late April standards there in the Great Lakes and the Midwest with those cooler temperatures. And then going into Thursday, let's look at the synoptic pattern here. Let's kind of zoom it out and show you the central U.S. here in the north central U.S. We're going to have a ridge of high pressure in our viewing area as we go into Thursday the 25th and then Friday the 26th. But notice we start to have a stronger trough. A long wave trough across the western U.S. will start to eject somewhere across our viewing area into the middle of the country by Friday, April 26th. And this will begin to bring us precipitation chances as early as Thursday and Thursday night. So you can see here, we got a low pressure system developing on the lee side of the Rockies on Thursday. And you can see there is some instability to work with here on Thursday, around 500 to perhaps 1,000 joules per kilogram, especially for southern Nebraska into Kansas there. That could lead to some isolated or scattered strong storms. We'll have to keep an eye on that, and we'll definitely fine tune this as we get closer. Going into Friday, a much stronger, more mature low pressure system and surface cyclone We'll move off the lee side of the Rockies from eastern Colorado into the central plains into either Nebraska or Kansas. The warm frontal boundary likely to set up across the Midwest. We'll have to watch that for enhanced wind shear, especially if we have enough instability for some severe weather as far north as Nebraska, Iowa, and northern Illinois by next Friday. But the cold front dry line set up as well for the plains. Classic severe weather setup for Kansas into Missouri. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. More colder rains, though, across the Dakotas. Really not looking at any severe weather north of the low pressure storm track. It's really the eastern quadrant here across Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and Illinois. We'll really have to keep an eye on the severe weather threat for next Friday, especially when looking at the instability. Here's your CAPE values, your convective available potential energy for next Friday, and you can see those values spiking up over 1,000 joules per kilogram, especially along and ahead of the dry line, but also up near the warm front where we have enhanced wind shear, that triple point we look for. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Much more widespread severe weather potential as we go into next Friday here, about a week from today. So we'll have to keep an eye on this across the north central U.S., and you bet we will be keeping you covered on the weather forecast as we do get closer. Another video here on North Central Weather Center is scheduled for Monday. So make sure to tune back in on Monday for another weather forecast update across the north central U.S. Hey, if you do like this content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We'll keep you covered throughout the year. The like button down below, it helps out more than you know, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of their weekend out there.